Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Thursday the 18th of January 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political headlines today. So to start off with, what's probably going to be leading the agenda today is President Macron's visit to the UK. He's meeting Prime Minister Theresa May at Sandhurst Military Academy this morning and going through into the afternoon as well. The key things which have come through in the papers and also in the news wires this morning is regarding an announcement by the government that they will be giving a further £45 billion to the French to improve French border security, particularly in Calais, and to shore up the 2003 Le Touquet Agreement, which allows for British border checks to take place on French soil. Now, interestingly, though, the Times is also pushing that President Macron will be asking for more cash, more than that £45 million, to boost the local economy in Calais that he says has been seriously damaged by particularly what's happening with regards to the migrant crisis, or has happened in previous years regarding the migrant crisis, and for the French having to process people on their end. The British, however, the reports coming through indicate that the British government isn't going to go anywhere near that kind of deal, and that would be deeply politically unstable. The idea, obviously, of Theresa May giving more money over to the French or to a European country, obviously politically very difficult to deal with in the current climate. Interestingly, from Politico today, is what they're saying France views the UK in at the moment, according to the report today, particularly from the director of the Royal United Services Institute, Jonathan Eyal. Basically, that the French see the UK as in a position of weakness at the moment, and I quote here, "There is a feeling in Paris that they can extract more concessions from the British today. It's no longer seen as a meeting of equals." We'll see if that's the case a little bit later on. Next up, the National Audit Office have got an absolutely damning report today and will undoubtedly feed through into the political agenda as well. Basically saying that taxpayers will have to pay out £200 billion to fund PFI, which is Public Finance Initiative contracts, which have been signed by previous successive governments. The Audit Office are basically saying that they could also find little evidence that there's been a financial benefit from the public money invested in more than 700 existing public-private projects. And that auditors have found that these projects, which have been funded by private companies and using PFI, have basically been 40% more expensive than if they'd been funded by taxpayer funds alone. So politically there, really, really interesting stuff. And possibly for the Labour front bench, the idea of funding private companies and outsourcing government responsibilities and services to private companies, this will perhaps add fuel to their fire. The report has also indicated that the government has a £35 million stake in one of Carolyn's major projects, which is an investment now at risk. One more story then, this one kind of a little bit more Westminster bubble, but George Osborne, former Chancellor under David Cameron, will not be visiting the House of Lords as a peer. According to the report by the Sun newspaper, Theresa May will not be offering the former Chancellor, I should say, a position in the House of Lords. Significant because, as the Sun reports, he will be the first ex-Chancellor in at least 5 decades not to be invited to sit in the Lords. So just to give you a very clear indication of just the level of personal disharmony between Theresa May and the former Chancellor, George Osborne is, of course, now the editor of the Evening Standard and has notably done some very uncomplimentary editorials and front pages towards Theresa May, though, of course, he did back the Conservatives at the last general election. Friends of Osborne and City never actually wanted, nor has never asked for a peerage. And, of course, the PM today will be unveiling her a list of her 10 new peers by the end of the month. Sorry, she'll be announcing those by the end of the month. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and on Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your Thursday.